Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. So we want to take a look here at the larger time frame again. I am currently on the monthly chart, but we can very well go to the weekly. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about market sentiment, and why we are currently in an area that could be compared to a make or break point. So please note that this here is the weekly chart. It's the weekly chart. It's a very much of it's a macro chart. I do not currently call a top to be in place. So I'm not saying that the bull market has topped. I'm not overall bearish yet, but I'm using this chart on the weekly time frame to show you guys that we already have a very full wave count, a 5-wave move up. This was not the case, not so much in December 24. Back in the day, I wanted to see one more high. Even at the moment, I think one more high would be ideal, but it is absolutely not needed anymore. The wave count from the 2022 lows is technically complete. I've been saying this all the time. It's important to understand all of this. Sometimes people come, watch the videos, they just stay for a minute, they see the wave count, they say, okay, and that's what he said. No, if you come here to this video and you really want to learn something and you want to understand the full picture, then you need to listen to the entire report. Because all the words are carefully selected. So that's very important. But I think it's important to understand that Elliott wave is one of the few indicators, actually I'm not aware of any other one, that tells us that the bear market might have started. Because a lot of people are just using those typical sentiment indicators, like you see a lot like those that should normally show an overheated market, those that worked very well in previous cycles where markets actually got overheated. For example, in the 2021 rally, of course, the market was overheated. This was a third wave, guys. In a third wave, you get an overheated market, typically as part of the deal. And there was also a larger degree third wave in 2017. But guess what? This cycle is actually a fifth wave. So, what can I say? Could also be a wave one, by the way, different scenarios, but not a third. So the sentiment is different, which is why the previous indicators from previous cycles, they don't work that well. But from an Elliott wave point of view, we have a pretty full 5-wave move to the upside. However, I'm not bearish yet because we need to understand how Elliott wave works. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail here, but a full wave count means the risk is high. We're not in 2023 anymore where I was really, really bullish. This is more observation mode. And we're now getting back into price regions where actually spot buys are probably interesting again. No financial advice, but I think from a let's say from a structural point of view, market sentiment point of view, it is, because we are getting to key pivots, key levels. It's a key pivot. We're very close to key levels. Now, I said it before, from an Elliott wave point of view, it would require a break below this April low. I think it was at around 74K, to really confirm a bear market. We will get a lot of warnings before. For me, the first major warning would be a break below the 55-week exponential moving average. A break below. Not the EMA itself, but a break below. And it needs to be a decisive break. So probably a couple of closes below. And that doesn't mean when we do that the market will drop like a stone. It will likely still give us a rebound, and the rebound will then tell us more. But we are at this key level here where historically the market has started a bounce very often. Why is that? Because it's the 55-week EMA where we had previous bounces from. Talked about that. We don't need to repeat that in detail. We look at the relative strength index on the weekly chart, and we know that we are in a support area. Historically, well, at least in this cycle, Bitcoin often found support in this region around 45, 43 in that area. So this is specifically in this cycle the case. So that's important. If we are in a bear market, then we're likely in, let's say bear market levels are below 30, but we are above 40 still. And this is good enough for upside continuation. Nothing is significantly broken. So it'll be interesting to see if the bulls can actually find support here. But the weekly RSI isn't everything. You know, the stochastic RSI is oversold below 30. And this is historically also, at least in this cycle, where lows formed. Now, if we look at the weekly MACD, you see that the lows formed actually when momentum was really, really in the red here. Once we see this start to move up a little bit, and the MACD line and the indicator lines start to turn around, this will be interesting. So once this histogram becomes light red, this would be really, really interesting because it could indicate a low has formed. What else did we have? Oh yeah, the fear. Oh no, hold on. We also have this structural support line here where we are currently bouncing from, slightly at least. Yeah. So we have a bounce. It's not a significant bounce. A bounce from here is possible. That does not rule out another low on the micro level. Absolutely not. But again, we are here at a key level, also from a sentiment point of view, because an oversold stochastic RSI often goes hand in hand with a fearful market. Extreme fear. So if we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, we're here at the or on the Bitcoin Magazine Pro website. They are one of our research partners. I do not only use Elliott Wave, I use Elliott Wave mainly for precision, but there are additional macro indicators that I personally also use to align it, to combine it with our analysis. If you're interested to check out all of their charts, they've got the Pi Cycle Top Indicator, price prediction models, the Rainbow Price Chart Indicator. They have a lot ratio indicators, lots of stuff about derivatives as well. Then feel free to follow the link in the comment section. It's just a link to their website, and there is an exclusive discount code that we negotiated for you for the MCO community, 20 MCO. Just use it when you if you want to check out their plans. I find them very valuable. I mean, I use them myself. So what you can actually see here, I wanted to take a little look at a short look here at the Fear and Greed Index, because whenever in the current cycle the Fear and Greed Index was at current levels, and we're currently at 24, so it's extreme fear, we saw a bounce. And obviously it's not an indicator that predicts absolutely the low, but it's more like to understand the region, okay? So in this cycle, it was actually a good idea to buy fear or extreme fear mostly. And we're now at extreme fear. So in this cycle, I don't think it dropped below 21. It might have 20. Okay, we had 20 there. Oh, there's even 16. Yeah, but I think it was only like a day. So should it drop below 20? I mean, wow, that'll be quite significant. But what you often found in these regions around those lows, and I'm talking about the March-April lows, the August lows of last year, the Fear and Greed Index often showed like 20, round about 20. And this doesn't mean just because we have extreme fear, it's a buy. You need to consider risk management. Because in a bear market, it doesn't work. Like in a bear market, like we are, when we're really in a bear market sell-off, it could drop to 10 to 7. 7 it was in the bear market. And so it's just something, especially, if we're in an internal third wave to the downside, I'm talking about Elliott wave structures, then it would really give us like something below 10, right? A reading below 10. And it's not an absolute buy indicator. But if we combine it with all the other indicators we talked about here, and with the Elliott wave structures that tell us another high is still possible, which if you follow our analysis on the other channels, like the More Crypto Online channel, where you get many additional updates, and also in our membership, you get lots of additional updates and lots of charts, Tradingview live charts, and much more, then another high is still possible in this cycle. And so it's pretty much a make or break point here. Yeah, and again, this is the weekly chart, so another low cannot be ruled out. Absolutely not. Another low cannot be ruled out. on the micro level, for example. And as I said, technically from an Elliott wave point of view, we can give it even more room, possibly even all the way down to the 89-week exponential moving average, which is around here 88K, 87, 88K. But that would be deeper than what we've seen so far in this cycle. Yeah, so I would get very cautious below the 55-week EMA. But that doesn't mean if we just break below it, it doesn't mean that it's all full bear mode. Sometimes people then panic sell at the lows. So what you sometimes see is a wick below. We had it the last 2 times where we formed significant lows in August 24. There was a wick below the 55-week EMA and also in April. So my view is, I think for now it's a good strategy to just wait and see until micro patterns emerge, which give us some clarity that lows are in. If we then also see the MACD turn around, and we start to break resistances, then it's going to get interesting. We haven't really broken any meaningful resistances yet, so the market it's pretty much still like a catching the falling knife situation here, right? So I think it's important to recognize a lot of the corrections in this cycle have been very, very complex. A lot of these corrections could have been simple ABC structures, a lot of them simple ones. But what you often saw, these 3-wave structures to the downside were not enough. What we saw in previous corrections this cycle was we needed another leg down. And we needed another leg down in April as well. And maybe we need another leg down before we then recover, just to completely frustrate the crowd. So these are sort of my thoughts around the long-term chart. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates, then check out our MCO membership. I put the links for you guys in the comment section. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.